Well, Doom Patrollers, we just witnessed the penultimate episode of Doom Patrol Season 3. So, you know what that means. Next week is the finale, which is kind of crazy. I mean, I say this on every show, like, when we reach the end, but with Doom Patrol especially, it feels like this season just went by so fast, and that's mainly because, well, we got the first 3 episodes in one day, and there's only 10 episodes in the season, but, man, it just feels like this season went by so quickly, and I'm honestly kind of gonna be sad when it's over, but also at the same time, happy, because then I won't have to wake up at 3 a.m. to watch this anymore, but, yeah, it's going by fast, and obviously, in today's episode, Doom Patrol Season 3, Episode 9, titled Evil Patrol, a lot was set up for next week's finale. And actually, the storyline kind of took a big turn that I was not expecting, and I both like it and don't like it at the same time. Of course, I'll get more in depth on that, recap the episode, and so much more in this video today. But before we do any of that, of course, let me know in the comments below, what did you think about this episode of Doom Patrol Season 3? And of course, quick spoiler warning if you've not yet seen the episode, because we are talking spoilers and, doing all that stuff. So, just warning you now. But anyway, let's jump into this. So we start off the episode with another flashback, because that's something we've seen plenty of times throughout the season, specifically when it comes to the Sisterhood of Dada. So we're all the way back in 1917, which is basically right after Rita and Madame Rouge and the Sisterhood of Dada all become friends, and everything's going great and everything. And you have this conversation between Laura DeMille, Rita, aka Bendy, and also Shelley Byron, aka The Fog. And so Laura is telling Rita about her powers, how, like, she can shapeshift, and she says, like, oh, yeah, I can turn into a cat, but I'm gonna turn into a bird, because they're actually, in this scene, planning out that video that we saw all the way back in the beginning of the season, the little reel that showed us, like, just this super creepy, cryptic video of the Fog sitting there in a chair, like, doing something weird with a bird, and then all of a sudden the bird turned into Madame Rouge, and then you had Rita in the background there, and that was the big mystery as to, like, oh, how did Rita get there? Well, this is how, and this shows us kind of the planning of what was going down there. So this then transitions us to present day, where Madame Rouge now has all of her memories back, thanks to Rita and the Sisterhood of Dada. And so now she wants to go back to the Brotherhood of Evil, because they're the ones who sent her on this mission to the future in the first place. She just kind of forgot about all that, so now that she remembers, she wants to get back to that mission, or at least, get back with the group. Meanwhile, though, of course, our Doom Patrol are kind of following up after the big cliffhangers for their characters in last week's episode after their whole subconscious journey with the eternal flagellation, and we have things like Larry having a nightmare about Cliff and Jane saying he's a terrible father, and he's not ready to do this and take care of this space parasite, and of course he wakes up and, that basically gives him even more motivation to take care of this thing even more, but then the really interesting one, because of course this was probably the biggest surprise at the end of last week's episode, was Vic woke up now with synthetic skin. We've seen this for episodes. He's been, thinking about it and wanting to do it, but we didn't know if it actually happened, but it did happen, and now this is the aftermath of it. So he wakes up in the hospital with synthetic skin. He no longer has Grid or any of his cyborg stuff, and you see him struggle with that throughout the episode. Is like, whenever a fight shows up, he like goes to use Grid or like goes to get out his sonic cannon arm, and it just doesn't work because he doesn't have it anymore. So now he's got synthetic skin, and he has a conversation with his father where Silas basically tells him why he turned him into cyborg, because he could have just given him the synthetic skin after the accident, but he specifically made him cyborg for a reason, and he basically explains that it was to protect him. He wanted to make sure that Vic would never have to go to the hospital or would never get hurt, and that he wouldn't have to deal with all the things that he had to deal with as a kid and all that stuff. And it's like, you see where he's coming from, but at the same time, Vic, like Vic understands it, but he still knows that it was the wrong decision, because it wasn't the best decision for Vic's life. So after this is when we get a actual team meeting of the Doom Patrol in Doom Manor, and there's a couple of not great things going on here. Like, first of all, Vic shows up and he's expecting a great reaction. Everybody's gonna be like, oh, you got skin now, you're all looking great and stuff. But in reality, everybody's kind of disappointed by that, because not only did he change himself just because he wanted to look different, but also because now he's honestly kind of useless. I mean, he doesn't have grid, he doesn't have any of his cyborg parts, he can't do anything. So nobody is really happy about it at all, except Larian, but he's just doing that, he was honestly just pretending, just to be nice to Vic. But then also Kay is now the primary, because of course we know all the other personas are gone, so the only ones left in the underground are Kay and Jane, so Kay comes up and becomes the primary. Now, as for Larry, his parasite keeps, electrocuting him with, this red electric energy. Again, helping to support, I think, my theory that possibly this parasite is going to hatch into and birth a new spirit that Larry will be able to use. Possibly even a positive spirit, which I think would be really, really cool. But Rita is hosting this team meeting to basically show off her master plan to take down the Brotherhood of Evil, and specifically Madame Rouge. But speaking of Madame Rouge, like I said earlier, her plan was to go find the Brotherhood of Evil, so that's what she does. She tracks them down, and she finds the Brain and Monsieur Mala at their retirement home, which I thought was just hilarious. And they've basically gone into retirement, they've given up evil and all that stuff, but now they've still got a few tricks up their sleeves, so they end up sending her on a new mission, which is then when she transitions back into the Doom Patrol, and she meets back up with them and crosses paths. So back at Doom Manor, Clara, Cliff's daughter, arrives, and basically Cliff left his meds in Florida, so she brings them, and she was reading the side effects and everything, and it was lust and gambling and basically everything Cliff has been doing since he started taking those pills. So yeah, he needs a doctor and he needs some help here. But unfortunately, after Cliff leaves the room and then comes back, Claire's gone, so he picks up Rory, and then all of a sudden Claire walks back in the room with Rory, so now there's two Rorys, and that's where it's revealed that the Rory, baby Rory, that Cliff is holding is actually Madame Rouge in disguise. So she shapeshifts half back into Madame Rouge, and it was really creepy because we got this fight scene between Madame Rouge and the rest of the Doom Patrol, but she was still the size of a baby, but with Madame Rouge's face. So it was super weird and creepy, very CGI, but still kind of looked cool, but also just weird and creepy at the same time. And basically by the end of it, she is able to take down all of the Doom Patrol, and she kidnaps Cliff and teleports him away, which is then we find out the true plan of this season and of our villains, because she takes Cliff's body to the Brain and Monsieur Mala. And the Brain reveals that a couple episodes ago, when Cliff was selling all that stuff on eBay, that the Brain was the one that bought Cliff's blueprints for his Robot Man body. So he was just super jealous that Niles Calder, his archenemy, was the one that was able to come up with this robotic body. So he wanted that for himself. So now he has stolen it from the Doom Patrol, from Cliff, and now he has replaced Cliff's brain with his brain in the Robot Man body. So then Mala just takes Madame Rouge, because by the way they betray her, Madame Rouge and Cliff's brain, and just toss him somewhere outside, and that's it. Now the brain is inside Cliff's body, and then the episode ends with him dancing to the Brotherhood Live, which apparently they recorded their own album or something, and it is in French because they're French. But as we hear the song playing as he's dancing and everything, we basically have the whole Doom Patrol on their way to go try and save Cliff, but they're all arguing about everything that's going on here, and then all of a sudden Kay unlocks powers, but obviously she's out of control. At the same time, Larry's parasite sets off another electro blast, so the combination of those two kind of just tosses the bus up in the air, and that is where the episode ends. Which, of course, is setting up for some huge things in next week's season finale. Now, real quick before we end off this video, I want to just talk about this ending with the Brain and Madame Rouge and the Brotherhood of Evil and everything, because this is the thing I was talking about that I like but don't like at the same time, because I love the Brain and Monsieur Mala, and I love the Brotherhood of Evil, and I was really excited to see them in this season, so I really like to see that they're taking on a bigger role here. But the only thing is, I wish that at this point they would have maybe just saved it for season 4, because so far the Sisterhood of Dada has kind of been the focus and almost basically the main villains of season 3. So for this episode to kind of just almost forget about the Sisterhood of Dada, and who knows if they're even going to show up next week's episode, but to kind of fall out of the main storyline have it be that almost their story is over and then kind of just replace them with the Brain and Monsieur Mala. Like, it's cool that we're getting to see those characters and with, like, taking over Cliff's body and everything, but it just feels like something that might be a little rushed because they're only doing it in 2 episodes, because so far these characters have just been like making little cameos throughout the season, and then all of a sudden they're full-on main villains of the season for the final 2 episodes. It just doesn't really make a lot of sense, and I do wish that maybe they would have made the Sister of Dada the main focus here, and then maybe saved the Brotherhood of Evil, and at least set them up to be the main villains of Season 4. But then again, you never know. We'll have to wait and see. But for now, guys, that was Doom Patrol Season 3, Episode 9, Evil Patrol. Again, great episode. Just a little concerned about that big twist, but at the same time, I like it. Like I said, it's I kind of go back and forth. But anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think about this episode? Let me know all your thoughts, theories, and predictions for the Season 3 finale of Doom Patrol. And thanks so much for watching. Please drop a like if you enjoyed this video, and hit the subscribe button so I can keep up to date on everything that goes on in the DC life.